I'm here to take my daughter home. My sister Danielle stood on my porch for the first time in 12 years, wearing designer clothes and a smile I didn't recognize. Behind me, I could hear Lily setting the table for dinner, the same dinner we shared every night since she was 3 years old. But Danielle wasn't here for reconciliation. She was here for $2.3 million, and she needed Lily to get it. Drop a comment and let me know where you're re-listening from and what time it is for you right now. I'd love to know who's part of this community. My name is Meredith Lawson. I'm 41 years old. And I'm about to tell you the story of how I became a mother overnight, lost everything in a courtroom, and watched a 15-year-old girl speak 3 words that changed all of our lives forever. Let me start at the beginning. My sister Danielle was always the golden child. She was beautiful, stunning, actually, the kind of beautiful that made people stop and stare. She was charming, magnetic, the center of every room she entered. Our parents adored her. Teachers adored her. Boys fell at her feet. Everything came easily to Danielle, which meant she never learned how to fight for anything. I was the opposite. Plain, practical, invisible. I got good grades because I studied twice as hard as everyone else. I got into college because I wrote the application essay 15 times until it was perfect. I became a nurse because I wanted to help people, and because it was a stable career that would never leave me dependent on anyone else. Danielle got pregnant at 22 by a man she barely knew. She was going to be a model, she said. She was going to move to New York, get discovered, become famous. A baby didn't fit into that plan. But she had the baby anyway. Our parents convinced her. They were Catholic, traditional, horrified by the alternative. They promised to help. They promised it would be fine. They lied. Not intentionally, they believed what they were saying. But they were in their 60s, and raising a child requires energy that disappears with age. And Danielle was never meant to be a mother. Lily was born in March 2009. She was beautiful, like her mother, with dark curly hair and enormous brown eyes that seemed to see everything. For the first year, things seemed okay. Danielle lived with our parents, who helped with night feedings and diaper changes and all the unglamorous work of keeping a tiny human alive. But Danielle was restless. She wanted her old life back, the parties, the attention, the freedom. She started going out more and more, leaving Lily with our parents for days at a time. She got a job at a nightclub, working until 3 a.m., sleeping until noon. She missed Lily's first steps. She missed her first words. By the time Lily was 2, Danielle was barely present. She would drift in and out, playing mother when it suited her, disappearing when it didn't. Our parents were exhausted. They loved their granddaughter, but they were too old for this. They started calling me, asking for help, asking if I could take Lily for a weekend, a week, a month. I was 29, single, working full-time at the hospital. I had a 1-bedroom apartment and no experience with children. But I took Lily whenever they asked, because someone had to. And then came the night that changed everything. It was February 2012. I had just finished a double shift at the hospital, 16 hours on my feet, dealing with a flu outbreak that had filled every bed. I came home at midnight, exhausted, wanting nothing more than to collapse into bed. There was a car seat on my doorstep. Inside the car seat was Lily, 3 years old, asleep under a pink blanket. Tucked into the blanket was a note. I can't do this. I'm sorry. Please take care of her. That was it. 9 words. No explanation, no forwarding address, no indication of when or if Danielle would return. I brought Lily inside. I put her to bed in my room. I didn't have a second bedroom, didn't have a crib, didn't have anything a child would need. I sat on the edge of my bed and watched her sleep, this tiny person who had just been dropped into my life like a package left by the mailman. I called Danielle. The number was disconnected. I called my parents. My father answered, groggy with sleep. She left Lily on my doorstep. She's gone. My father was quiet for a long moment. Then he sighed, a deep, tired sigh that carried years of disappointment. We'll figure it out, he said. We'll help you. They did help. For a while. But my parents were in their late 60s, and within a year, my mother was diagnosed with early-onset dementia. My father became her caregiver, which left no room for a rambunctious preschooler. So I became Lily's mother. Unofficially, without paperwork, without legal standing. I was just Aunt Meredith on all the forms, the emergency contact, the person who showed up for parent-teacher conferences and doctor's appointments and school plays. I moved to a bigger apartment. I switched to the day shift at the hospital, even though it meant a pay cut. I learned to braid hair and pack lunches and check homework. I learned the names of all the Disney princesses and all the characters on whatever cartoon was popular that year. I learned to function on 4 hours of sleep and still make pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse. I learned to be a mother, one day at a time. Danielle never came back. Not for Lily's 4th birthday, or 5th, or 6th. Not for her first day of kindergarten, her first lost tooth, her first bike ride without training wheels. Not when Lily had pneumonia at age 7 and spent 4 days in the hospital, asking for her real mommy, through a fever haze that broke my heart. I was there for all of it. Every nightmare, every scraped knee, every tearful confession about mean girls at school. I was there when she needed someone to hold her, someone to yell at, someone to love her unconditionally. I was her mother in every way except the one that mattered legally. Years passed. Lily grew from a confused toddler into a bright, resilient child, and then into a remarkable teenager. She called me Aunt Muir until she was 8, and then one day, without discussion, she started calling me Mom. I cried in the bathroom for 20 minutes after the first time she said it. We built a life together. It wasn't fancy, I was a nurse, not a millionaire, but it was good. We had dinner together every night. We went to the library every Saturday. We took road trips in the summer, visited national parks, collected magnets from every state we passed through. Lily knew about Danielle. I never hid it from her. I showed her photos, told her stories about our childhood, explained that her birth mother had struggled with problems that had nothing to do with Lily's worth. I tried to be honest without being cruel. Why didn't she want me? Lily asked once, when she was 10. She wanted you, I said carefully. She just wasn't able to take care of you the way you deserved. That's not your fault. It was never your fault. Are you able to take care of me? I will always take care of you. No matter what. She hugged me then, fierce and tight, and I promised myself that I would never break that promise. My parents died within 6 months of each other. My mother went first, her dementia having progressed to the point where she no longer recognized any of us. My father followed a few months later, a heart attack, the doctors said, but I knew it was grief. He had loved my mother for 50 years. He didn't know how to live without her. They left a will. And the will left everything, the house, the savings, the life insurance, to their beloved granddaughter, Lily Marie Lawson, $2.3 million. That was the total value of the estate. I didn't care about the money. I had never expected to inherit anything, and frankly, I was glad it was going to Lily. She could use it for college, for a house, for whatever future she wanted to build. It would be held in trust until she was 25, with me as the trustee. It was a good plan. A solid plan. And then Danielle came back. She showed up on my doorstep 12 years to the day after she had left Lily there. She was 37 now, still beautiful, but with a hardness around her eyes that hadn't been there before. She was wearing clothes that cost more than my monthly rent. I'm here to take my daughter home, she said. I didn't move from the doorway. Where have you been for 12 years, Danielle? That's not important. What's important is that I'm ready now. I'm stable. I have a home, a career, a life. I can finally be the mother Lily deserves. She already has a mother. Danielle's smile flickered. You're her aunt, Meredith. You've been babysitting. I appreciate it, but it's time for Lily to live with her real family. I am her real family. I'm the one who raised her. I'm the one who was there every single day while you were gone. I'm the one who held her when she cried for you and didn't understand why you left. I left because I wasn't ready. Now I am. She's 15 years old, Danielle. You don't get to walk back into her life and pretend the last 12 years didn't happen. Danielle's expression hardened. I'm her legal mother. I have rights. You abandoned her. You forfeited those rights. That's for a court to decide. She turned and walked back to her car, a Mercedes, I noticed, glossy and new. Before she drove away, she rolled down the window. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. I did hear from her lawyer. A week later, I was served with papers. Danielle was petitioning for full custody of Lily, citing her biological rights as the child's mother and her improved circumstances that now allow her to provide a stable home. She didn't mention the inheritance. She didn't have to. The timing said everything. I hired my own lawyer, a family attorney named Patricia Vega who had been recommended by a colleague at the hospital. Patricia was experienced, practical, and quietly furious on my behalf. She's only coming back because of the money, Patricia said after reviewing the case. Your parents' estate goes to Lily. If Danielle gets custody, she becomes the trustee. She controls the money until Lily turns 25. Can she do that? Can she just take Lily after abandoning her for 12 years? Biological parents have strong rights in this state. Abandonment is hard to prove legally, especially when there was no formal termination of parental rights. You should have filed for guardianship years ago. I didn't think I needed to. She was gone. I thought she was gone forever. Patricia sighed. We'll fight it. But I want you to be prepared. This might not go the way you want. The custody hearing was scheduled for June, 4 months after Danielle's return. In those 4 months, Danielle did everything right, at least, everything that would look right to a judge. She got an apartment near a good school district. She got a job at a real estate agency. She sent Lily cards and gifts. Requested visitation, played the role of the reformed mother who had made mistakes but was now ready to do better. Lily didn't want to see her. She refused every visit, returned every gift unopened. But the court ordered supervised visitation, and I had to comply. I watched my daughter, because that's what she was, my daughter, sit across from the woman who had abandoned her. And I watched Danielle perform motherhood like she was auditioning for a role in a movie. I missed you so much, Danielle said during one visit. You didn't call, Lily replied, her voice flat. Not once in 12 years. I was going through some things. I wasn't well. But I'm better now. Mom got me through pneumonia when I was 7. She was there when I got my period and didn't know what was happening. She taught me to drive last month. Where were you? Danielle didn't have an answer. She just kept smiling, kept performing, kept pretending that love could be manufactured on demand. The day of the hearing arrived. I wore my best dress, a navy blue one I had bought for my mother's funeral. Lily wore the outfit she had picked out herself, black pants, white blouse, her grandmother's pearl earrings that had been left to her specifically. She looked older than 15. She looked like someone who had already survived things that would have broken most adults. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Judge Harold Whitmore presided, an older man with gray hair and kind eyes that I hoped meant he would actually listen instead of just following procedure. Danielle's lawyer went first. He painted a picture of a woman who had struggled with postpartum depression, who had made the difficult choice to leave her daughter with family while she got help, who had spent years working on herself so she could return as the mother her daughter deserved. He didn't mention the inheritance. But Patricia did. Your Honor, the timing of this petition is not coincidental. My client's parents passed away 8 months ago, leaving their entire estate, valued at $2.3 million, to their granddaughter, Lily. Within weeks of this will becoming public knowledge, the petitioner suddenly decided she was ready to be a mother again. Danielle's lawyer objected. Judge Whitmore overruled him. The timing is relevant to establishing motive, the judge said. Continue. Patricia called witnesses. Lily's teachers, who testified about my involvement in her education. Her pediatrician, who confirmed that I had brought her to every appointment for 12 years. Her therapist, who spoke about the damage that Danielle's abandonment had caused and the stability I had provided. Danielle's lawyer called his own witnesses. Character references who spoke about Danielle's rehabilitation, her new career, her readiness to parent. He called a psychologist who had evaluated Danielle and found her fit to assume parental responsibilities. And then, finally, Judge Whitmore called Lily. She walked to the witness stand with her back straight and her chin high. She had inherited that from Danielle, the ability to look composed even when everything was falling apart inside. Lily, the judge said gently, I've heard a lot of testimony today from adults. But this decision is about you and your future. I'd like to hear from you directly. Okay. Can you tell me about your relationship with your aunt, Meredith? Lily looked at me. Her eyes were shining with unshed tears. She's not my aunt. She's my mom. She's been my mom since I was 3 years old. She taught me how to read. She sat with me every night when I had bad dreams about being left again. She works double shifts at the hospital and still comes to every single one of my soccer games. She's the one who knows that I like my grilled cheese cut diagonal, not straight. She's the one who holds my hair back when I'm sick. She's the one who stayed. Her voice cracked on the last word. And your biological mother, Danielle? The judge asked. Lily turned to look at Danielle. For a long moment, she said nothing. I used to dream about her coming back. When I was little, I would imagine her walking through the door and picking me up and telling me she loved me. I used to think it was my fault she left, that I had done something wrong, that I wasn't good enough. Danielle's face crumpled. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. But she's not here because she loves me, Lily continued, her voice hardening. She's here because of the money. She didn't come back when I was in the hospital. She didn't come back when Grandma and Grandpa died. She came back when she found out about the inheritance. I'm not stupid. I know why she wants me now. That's not true, Danielle said, standing up. Her lawyer tried to pull her back down. Lily, baby, I love you. I've always loved you, order, Judge Whitmore said firmly. Ms. Lawson, sit down. Danielle sat. She was crying now, but I couldn't tell if the tears were real or another performance. The judge turned back to Lily. I have one more question for you, Lily. It's an important one, and I want you to answer honestly, without worrying about what anyone else in this room wants you to say. Okay. He leaned forward slightly. Who is your mother? The courtroom went silent. I could hear my own heartbeat, loud and terrified. Lily didn't hesitate. Meredith Lawson is my mother. She's the only mother I've ever had. And I want to stay with her. I broke down. 12 years of holding it together, of being strong, of pretending I was terrified that someone would take her away from me, it all came flooding out in sobs I couldn't control. Judge Whitmore was quiet for a long moment. He looked at Danielle, at her lawyer, at Patricia, at me. In my 30 years on the bench, he said slowly, I have learned that biology does not make a parent. Showing up does. Staying does. Being there when it's hard and thankless and exhausting, that's what makes a parent. He straightened his papers. I am denying the petition for custody. Furthermore, based on the evidence of abandonment presented today, I am terminating Danielle Lawson's parental rights effective immediately. Meredith Lawson will retain full guardianship of the minor child, with the recommendation that she pursue formal adoption if she so chooses. He looked at me. Take care of your daughter, Ms. Lawson. I will, Your Honor. I always have. The adoption was finalized 3 months later. Lily chose to keep her last name, my last name, the one she had been using on school forms for years. The one that had always been hers, even when the paperwork said otherwise. Danielle didn't appeal. She couldn't afford to, and she knew she would lose anyway. She sent Lily a letter a few weeks after the hearing, an apology, she said, for everything she had done wrong. Lily read it once, then threw it away. I don't need her apology, she told me. I needed her to be there. She wasn't. You were. That's all that matters. Lily is 17 now. She's applying to colleges. She wants to be a pediatric nurse, like me, which makes me prouder than I can express. She's smart, kind, resilient, and absolutely certain of who she is and where she belongs. She belongs with me. She always did. The money from my parents' estate is still in trust, waiting for her to turn 25. She doesn't think about it much. She's more interested in her future than in her inheritance, in what she can build, not what she was given. That's my girl. That's my daughter. If you re-listening to this and you ever loved a child who wasn't biologically yours, a niece, a nephew, a foster child, a stepchild, I want you to know that blood doesn't make a family. Showing up does. Staying does. Choosing them, every single day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when no one thanks you for it. That's what makes you a parent. Danielle gave birth to Lily. But I raised her. I loved her. I fought for her. I am her mother. And no court, no DNA test, no biological argument can ever change that. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. Who stayed. Who shows you. Every single day.